Dogecoin got a huge pump last night, or a pretty big pump last night to the upside, and we actually broke that Fibonacci retracement level that I was talking about in yesterday's video. And if we go to the daily time frame, let's go do that. We actually came up to that previous resistance that I was actually thinking that we would do if we could break this Fibonacci retracement level. We had support, 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 giving me this trend line right here. This is what I was watching. We were on an uptrend. And like I was saying in yesterday's video, so let's take it back a little bit. Let's go to the daily time frame. I was on the 4-hour. I talk about the Fibonacci retracement levels. When we have a big run up and we start heading down, I draw the Fibonacci chart. You get the Fibonacci tool right here, drag from the bottom of the run to the top of the run, and then that gives me levels to watch. And I was saying, and I was watching, I was watching this level right here sitting at around 0.115 approximately. And I was saying if we could break this Fibonacci retracement level going to the upside, then I think we could start targeting this previous resistance and or the next Fibonacci retracement level. The other thing too is we've been watching the moving averages, the 180 moving average, kind of specifically on the daily time frame. We have this orange line right here, the 180 moving average. When we came into it a couple of days ago, or like last week I think it was, we got resistance and we started heading down, and then we were kind of underneath that Fibonacci retracement level. Right now, it looks like we're breaking above it. Let's see if we could stay above it, and we could actually come up to this next Fibonacci retracement level sitting at around 0.1138. That would be kind of the next spot that I'd be looking at if we continue to move to the upside. It also lines up with this previous resistance right here, sitting at, we came up right here and about 0.139 and then got rejected and started heading down. I'm kind of curious if we're in another little bull run right now. The other thing that I've been looking at too is we had resistance, 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 and this is why I kind of started watching Dogecoin more, is because we had this trend line going to the downside. We formed a falling wedge pattern, something like that. We broke it to the upside right here. Like I said, that 180 moving average rejected us and we started heading down, but it looks like we're kind of giving another go at it. And it looks like we're above that 180 moving average right now on the daily time frame. I keep on doing that, sorry. So yeah, I think if we could break above this, then maybe we could come up to here, or maybe even start coming up to maybe this level. I think in a falling wedge pattern, you look at the previous resistances, which would be right here, and right here. So the first target would be around 0.139 approximately, and then the second target would be 0.174, and the third target would be 0.219. But we don't know how far it's going to go up. I mean, it's like I said, the first step we have to do is break this 180 moving average decisively, and then we could come up to here. This would be that first resistance in that falling wedge pattern, which is approximately 0.139. And then if we could break above that, then on to the next ones pretty much. And that's why I like watching the Fibonacci retracement levels, because sometimes they act as resistance and sometimes they act as support. Like down here, we came down, hit this 8 cents, got a bounce to the upside, and ever since then we're kind of testing that this Fibonacci retracement level right here, sitting at 0.114 approximately. So yeah, I think this is pretty good, as long as I think if we could break. Okay, so we broke the Fibonacci retracement level, right? That's a good sign right there. If we could break this 180 moving average decisively, then that's going to be another good sign right there. The other thing I'm looking at, like I was saying at the beginning, is I'm watching this trend line. We have support, 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 giving me a trend line. Let's go ahead and drag this up, something like that. As long as we are above this trend line, something like that, then we're technically on an uptrend. I guess you could say that we also formed another uptrend right here. So let's go ahead and go to the hourly time frame. Let's kind of zoom in a little bit more. And we have support, support. Let's go ahead and draw this trend line, something like this. So if we break this trend line as well, then that might be a signal that we might be going down, but it might just land on that first trend line that I was talking about and maybe get a bounce there and continue to head up. But if we break this one and then we break this one, then I would be looking at that target that I was looking at before at .098. But right now we're on an uptrend in two directions. We're on two uptrends. I'm curious if we're gonna, and we broke that Fibonacci retracement. We're testing the 180 moving average on the daily time frame, and check it out too. So I've been talking about the 9 moving average. Let me go ahead and delete this, and we'll go to the daily time frame. I was talking about the nine moving average, and let's go ahead and delete this one for now. We'll delete this one right now just to get a clearer picture. Okay, so I've been talking about the 9 moving average, this blue line right here, and when we're above the 9 moving average, like right here, when we broke above it, then we got support and we started bouncing to the upside and getting support on it, pushing us up. When we break below it, we get resistance on it, we come into contact with it, get rejected, rejected, heading down. Right now, ever since, let's see, what day was it? Friday, October 11th, right here. This is when we broke back above the 9 moving average, and we've been getting support on it. We are bouncing to the upside now, and we formed that little scoop, the scoop little formation that I was talking about, as opposed to a roof pattern where we come into it and kind of get rejected and get pushed down. We kind of formed that scoop, and then we went into it sideways, as opposed to trying to come into it and hit it something like that. When we do that, then that's when it kind of get rejected. When we form that like little scoop, something like that, then that makes it easier, I feel like, for us to like break into it and then start getting support on it and pushing us to the upside. So it's actually looking pretty good in my opinion. And let's talk about the volume too, because I've been like kind of looking at the volume. Well, we've been having declining volume ever since back here when we had that big pump to the upside. And, you know, when we're looking at patterns like this, then we want to look at the volume too. So we had declining volume all the way until, I mean, we're still getting like less volume than we did here, but we are getting a nice little green candles that's starting to push to the upside. I mean, you could even kind of zoom in a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, we had declining volume, and then now we're getting that big pump, but we also had declining volume over here. Basically, when we're looking at these patterns and then there's declining volume and then we actually get like a nice spike in volume, that is a breakout right there. So we might be breaking out now out of this falling wedge pattern. That's another thing that I kind of like about what's going on right now, is that we are getting some green candles as opposed to just like that stale volume. It looks like this is a nice little pump to the upside a little bit as far as the volume goes as well. So let's see how far we can continue this momentum pushing to the upside. I was wrong about that target of .092. Like I said, I was shorting it on Robinhood, but I do have another position on Coinbase. So, and I'd much rather it go up than go down. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about what it looks like right now. Like I said, I'm just glad we broke that Fibonacci retracement level. And check it out. Once we broke that level, that's when we started getting that pump. Same with right here. We broke out it right here, got that nice little pump to the upside, and then that 180 moving average kind of gave us trouble right here. And then it looks like we're breaking it right now. Let's go ahead and zoom in so you can see that, or so you can see that kind of more clearly. Let's zoom in. And yeah, so look at the 180 moving average. Right here, rejected. Right here, we're breaking above it. Let's see if we can continue this momentum to the upside and go to the next retracement level. We did hit this first target though, that I was kind of looking at, this previous resistance. So I'm kind of curious if it's going to continue to go up. But like I was saying, right here at .128, we kind of hit it. And I wonder if we need to cool off and maybe come back down and test that first trend line that I was talking about, which is this support, and this support. Let's go ahead and draw that back up real quick. I'm just wondering if we're gonna have to cool off before we continue to head up, but it looks pretty good. It looks like we're getting some nice green candles, and look at that spike in the volume too. We're on the 4-hour time frame. We got this big candle of volume. We had declining volume, nice big spike. And that's what I'm kind of looking for, these volume candles, when I talk about like I want to see the volume come in, or in general see more volume, as opposed to when we're going up and the volume's declining. That's kind of a bearish divergence. So yeah, we're getting a nice little spike to the upside on the volume as well, which is good. Um, okay, so let's say if we break this target, or if we break this resistance right here around .130, the next place that I'm looking at is around .139, that Fibonacci retracement level. Let's see what happens. This is looking pretty good, though, in my opinion. You could also probably argue that there's resistance right here, which gives us another pattern. Let's do something like this, which is kind of like a rising wedge or a triangle pattern. What I would do in this case is drag from the bottom to the top, drag that to the breakout, and that gives us a target of around .128, which we kind of already hit. So that's another reason why I'm wondering if we have to cool off. Let's see how much percentage we gained just from the last couple hours or since yesterday, because I'm kind of curious. If you let's see, from right here to the top right here is around 7%. I'm just kind of, like I was saying, I'm wondering if we have to cool off, because if you put in an order right here, or if people put in an order right here, they're up 7%. If you do like times 10, like if you do 10x or something on trading with what is it called, contracts, or I forget what they're called. But if you trade on leverage, that's what it's called. If you're trading on leverage, then that's 70% right there on a 10x. You know, if you're doing 10x leverage from there to there, that's 70%. So that's a pretty good trade. People might be cashing out right here and then letting it fall back down and then picking it back up or something like that. But I'm very curious what's going to happen next. We kind of came up to this resistance as well. So let's see. And like I was saying, if we go to the 1 hour time frame and do another trend line, something like this, that'll give us a better idea if we start to head down or start to cool off, should I say. Kind of looks like we're actually forming like a little bull flag. Let's go to the 5 minute. I haven't really came into the 5 minute in a long time. Dogecoin, you know, sometimes you can use the 5 minute as a guide as to like what's happening in the macro. So we have this trend line right here. Let's go ahead and delete this top one because that's a pattern, but we already kind of like fulfilled it. The other thing I'd be looking on this 5 minute is we have support. Let's go ahead and draw another trend line, something like this, something like that. So we broke that trend line. So we had an uptrend. We're going nice on it on the 5 minute, and then we broke it going sideways, or going to the downside, should I say. But we got support on it right here. And what I want to do in this situation is look at the top and then look at the bottom. Oops, that's the wrong tool. The trend line, and then let's go something like this. So we're looking at the top right here sitting at around .128, and then we're looking at the bottom right here at around .1265. So let's say you're still in a trade. If we start to head down, that might be like, if we break this line right here and we start to head down, then we could end up somewhere right here, or maybe even somewhere right here. But this is going to give us another idea. We might be bouncing sideways, and if we break to the upside, then we can start getting more confident on hitting like this target. And if we break to the downside, if we break this bottom line, then we can start getting more confident on like these targets. If we do fall back down, I wouldn't be surprised if we came back down and hit that Fibonacci retracement level. Like I was saying in the beginning, I like watching the Fibonacci retracement levels because they can act as support and as resistance. So let's say we get rejected right here and start to head down. That would be I wouldn't be surprised if we came back down and hit this one for support and started bouncing back to the upside. But basically right now I'm watching this level and this level. If we go up, I'm watching right here. And if we go down, I'm watching right here for now. So yeah, that about does it on this video, I think. Let me see if there's anything else that I missed. But yeah, I think that's about it. We're on a good uptrend. We broke to the upside last night, and it's looking pretty good for Dogecoin, in my opinion. You could see that volume. Like, I really like the way that we got a nice little spike in a green spike in volume. Let's see if we could keep this momentum up. Bitcoin looks like it's doing pretty good too. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick, just like really quick. We'd kind of been bouncing in between this channel, this falling channel, we had resistance, 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 and then we had support, support, support. We've basically been going sideways on Bitcoin, and it looks like Bitcoin is actually breaking. Let's go to the daily because that's the chart that I was looking at. This is where the lines actually come in, but it looks like we're actually breaking this top resistance right here, which makes me wonder if we're going to start going higher on Bitcoin. I wasn't sure if Bitcoin was like the bull run is over, but let's say we do, like, okay, so we broke this and we got a little bit of volume as well. I would say, like, I'm hoping that if we drag from the top to the bottom, that this could be our target, something like this. We broke that top side. This could be a bull flag too, though. I mean, we have a big run up and then sideways consolidation. We broke it. We're breaking it to the upside. I don't know if the volume's like that hardcore, but as far as a bull flag, I mean, look at the volume's been kind of low in comparison to the other stuff, but okay, let's go ahead and look at the volume though. We had declining volume here, and then we're getting that little spike right here. Let's see if we can continue this momentum. And like I said, dragging from the top to the bottom there, that'd be the channel target, which would put us at around 82,210. But if it's a bull flag, I don't really love the way that bull flag looks though. It's kind of like, it's kind of been going, the flag has been going on for a while, so I'm not sure. But if we want to target the flag pattern as well, just to kind of see if, I mean, you could do something like that, or potentially even something like this from this bottom down here, where we had that run up and then consolidation. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like when we drag this to the breakout and what kind of target we could be looking at on Bitcoin. Let's drag this to the breakout, something like that potentially. And this puts us at 113,701. Let's see if it continues though. I think the other thing that we'd have to do if to get to the both of these targets is break out of this Fibonacci retracement box. Like I was saying, when we have a big run up and we think we're starting to head down, then I draw the Fibonacci retracement levels, and that gives me levels to watch so we can sell it. Well, we can potentially sell if we start to see it slow down and go down, then we can sell and buy back at these Fibonacci retracement levels, or even 50%. I like the 50%, but we didn't come all the way down. Got support on that 23%, bounced to the upside, came down, still got support. I mean, we came down almost to the 38%, but we didn't quite hit it. And then we went back up, came down, hit the 38% level, and right at that 38% level, that's where we got to bounce back to the upside. Came back down and tested it again a little bit. I don't think we quite hit it again at this point, but we got really close. Now we're bouncing to the upside. We got support on that 23% level, sorry, and then we're bouncing to the upside. And that's why I like looking at these Fibonacci retracement levels. I don't really trade Bitcoin as much as I do Dogecoin. Like, I'm kind of just more dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin as opposed to Dogecoin. I haven't even been able to dollar cost average lately, but that's like my strategy with Bitcoin. I dollar cost average on Bitcoin, and I trade Dogecoin, or I trade here and there on Dogecoin. I'm not like hardcore about it, and then I also have a position on Dogecoin. So let's go back to Dogecoin real quick. But the thing with Bitcoin is, if Bitcoin's going up, then all of crypto is going to be going up, and it should be good. Let's go ahead and take a look at Dogecoin to Bitcoin real quick. I know this video is getting kind of long, but let's continue. All right, so Dogecoin to Bitcoin. I haven't even looked at this chart until just now, but okay, so I was watching some other lines, but let's go ahead and delete these ones. We were kind of going sideways for a while in this little area. Let's see, where's my marker? Okay, so we were going sideways in this little area. We actually broke it to the upside, then came back into it. Right now we're breaking it, but I don't really care for that little pattern right now. Let's go ahead and delete all this stuff, because what I'm looking at now, or what I'm kind of seeing now, is we have this resistance right here, and then we have like this resistance right here. There's also one right here, but let's use this one and this one. Let's go ahead and do that. Basically, this chart is saying that if this chart is going up, then Dogecoin is outperforming Bitcoin. And if this chart is going down, then Bitcoin is outperforming Dogecoin. So if it's going down, you want to be in Bitcoin rather than Dogecoin. And if it's going up, then you're going to make more money in Dogecoin. So, okay, so we have resistance, and we can use this chart the same way that we read the other charts. So and then we have a bottom right here where we have support and support. in my opinion, I think if we could break out of this little pattern right here, if we could break this trend line going to the upside, then that's going to be key for Dogecoin. And we could probably target from the bottom to the top of this. It almost looks like a cup pattern where we have that like cup and then we have like declining, or where kind of the handle, I guess, cup and handle, that's what it's called. But I'm not sure about that. It kind of almost looks like a triangle too. So let's just drag from the top to the bottom. That's how you would target a cup and handle though, is you would do that. And then you'd actually target the cup once you break that cup. It doesn't look like a handle. Once you break the handle, then you drag this to the breakout on the handle, something like that. That doesn't look like a perfect handle though. So let's go ahead and drag from the top to the bottom of this little triangle, drag this to the breakout. And let's see, this puts us something like that. Basically, if we break this trend line though, then I would probably target this area right here. The way, okay, so this is like .000000227. So that's like how much that's how much Bitcoin is for a Dogecoin or something like that. But I'm not worried about these numbers, like the exact target, but I'm looking at the chart, and let's say, like I was saying, if we break this trend line going to the upside, that's good for Dogecoin going to the up. And if I would just be watching this chart, and once we got here, then I would be kind of like wondering if we're going to continue to head up or if we're going to get rejected and start cooling off and heading down. We haven't done this yet. We haven't broke out of this pattern yet. So it's possible that we're still stuck going sideways for a while, and we need to test it some more and break out of it. But I would like to see us break this trend line right here on the Dogecoin to Bitcoin chart, and that'll tell us that if we do that, then Dogecoin will be outperforming Bitcoin. I guess let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance real quick just to get another look. So this chart is how dominant Bitcoin is compared to the altcoins. Let's go ahead and something like this, I guess. So yeah, this is actually looking pretty good for Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin was losing much less money than the other coins, like especially like Dogecoin. So it is in a nice little bubble formation, or a nice little uptrend right here. It's been going up and up and up. If we break this trend line going to the downside, then we could get another little altcoin season. If we break this going up, then Bitcoin is going to be the one that you're going to want to be into. I have a much bigger position on Bitcoin than I do Dogecoin, and that's kind of my main crypto. But I like Dogecoin as well. I like, the main thing I like about Dogecoin is there's like a lot of good trading action that happens in it. I mean, there's like some big falls and some big pumps. Like I was saying, just from that little pump, like in the last few hours from right here to here is like 7%. So that's pretty, that's pretty good. And the other thing too is we have this big falling wedge. Like so even from right here, let's say we go to the next Fibonacci retracement level, like from right here to the next one, that's another 10% where we're at right now. And if we go to the next one, the other target that I'd be looking at is that 38% sitting at this previous resistance right here. That's 37% if we can make it back up here. So yeah, there's some pretty good movement in Dogecoin, and that's why I like trading on it. And then also to the downside too. That's why I was kind of, when we got this little pump to the downside, or not pump, I mean like this fall to the downside, I was thinking we could just scoop up. I wanted to scoop up another little 12% going from here in this area, going down to here to hit that support again. But we didn't do that. Apparently I was wrong. But yeah, I was just playing around on Robinhood, but I still have a ton, well, quite a bit, decent amount on Coinbase. So yeah, sorry for the long video, but I guess we're just taking a look at Bitcoin dominance, Dogecoin to Bitcoin. We're looking at the Fibonacci retracement levels. We're watching trend lines, especially on the 4-hour and the 1-hour and even the 5-minute. Like I was saying, we could even go to that 5-minute and give us a better insight as to, so now we're kind of going sideways. Are we going to go up or are we going to go down? This top and this bottom right here will give us a better idea if we're going to continue or if we're going to cool off. So those are the things that I'm looking at on Dogecoin today. And we are getting a little bit of declining volume again, but let's see what happens. Looking pretty good for Dogecoin though, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. If you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to watch the last video, check it out right here. And if you're new to trading, check out this playlist right here to help you get you started on TradingView. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.